I know I've made a video like this before when I was talking about how addicted I was to Dragon Quest Builders, and it might seem like I'm just doing that again because that video got a lot of views. And in part you wouldn't be wrong, but in this day and age, with how many games I have to play, with this extensive Switch library, and don't even get me started on everything everywhere else, it's really hard to become addicted to one game. And in this case, a couple of games. Because in the forefront of my mind, every time I start a new game, I think there are 7 more games I have to start and 23 that I need to finish. So I try really hard not to get addicted to any one game. So when it actually happens and I can't put something down, it usually means that that game is pretty freaking addictive. So to start with, we have one that's going to make oh so many of you groan in the back of your throats and maybe even consider turning this video off. Fortnite. How many of you saw that coming? Raise your hands, I know you're out there. YouTube is a large and scary place. Every video has been done from every angle a million times, and to that end, as far as making insanely pointless videos go, doing a review of Fortnite at this point in June of 2018, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We know what this game is, we know how this game plays, and most of us are sick of looking at or hearing about this game. So I'm gonna keep this short and sweet and focus on this Switch port and how it runs and everything amazing about it. I'm addicted. And you can blame RGT85 for this because he's the one that's constantly calling me, asking me to play one more round and one more round and one more round of duos. We ain't good either. Not to my surprise at all, this Switch version runs incredibly smooth. I mean, if you can get it running on iPhones, you can get it running on the powerhouse system that is the Switch. Actually, being serious and talking about a powerhouse system, playing this game on Xbox One in 4K, it looks gorgeous. The draw distance is amazing. You can see people as small as an ant in the distance and start taking pot shots at them with your rifle. And that's certainly something I miss in the Switch version. Obviously, the Switch has its limits. I love playing the game on the Switch. In fact, it's the first time I actually bought a season pass because almost immediately I knew I'd be playing a lot of this game. But it does look a little rough around the edges, as to be expected. The draw distance can be pretty awful. Way out in the distance, things will look really jagged, and sometimes they will just pop in and out of view depending on where you're standing on the map. And in a game where you really want to know where every single player is at any given point, if they're standing up there on a hill way in the horizon, I want to see them clear and crisp so I know where to send my headshot. But enemies way out there on the horizon in the Switch version of this game kind of looks like someone crushed a crab. It's just a smushed up mess of blurry pixels. But that is about my only complaint. It runs smooth, as I said. Up close, it looks great. It runs amazing in handheld mode. As much as I initially boasted that I would play this game in bed all the time and lose hours of sleep because I'd never want to go night-night, when I actually started playing it in handheld mode and immediately realizing how small the screen is for a game like this, coupled with the fact that playing a game like this with the Joy-Con sticks doesn't even come close to playing it with a Pro controller, when I initially got the game on my handheld hybrid system, I thought for sure I was only going to play it in TV mode, and for a while that's what I was doing. Till I got tired, went to bed with it, got used to playing it in bed, and now I play it in bed and I never go night-night. Something that I found really cool is while I was traveling over the last week, going to Philadelphia on a road trip to get to too many games, I was staying in a ton of different hotel rooms. And just for the lols, I thought I would try connecting to the hotel Wi-Fi's, which if you've ever stayed in a hotel, you know that the Wi-Fi's are notoriously terrible. So as I'm lying there in the bed that the lady at the desk told us was a double bed, however Billy is pretty much sleeping on my lap because of how much room we don't have, I nudged him and I said, "This'll be funny, watch me play Fortnite on the hotel Wi-Fi." It was great. It ran really well. It ran smooth like butter. Maybe there was one time that I lagged like maybe a second forward or a second back, but it really didn't affect my gameplay at all. In fact, I almost won the game that I played. So then that got me thinking the next day in the car as we're driving the last 8 hours, what if I connected it to my phone's hotspot? And sure enough, using my phone's really spotty cellular data as I'm driving through the middle of Tennessee nowhere, I managed to connect to my Switch and play rounds of Fortnite with next to no issues. It was a little bit more skippy using my phone because I was driving in motion, but it was working well. I tried it here in my house when I got home, and I was playing games after games with no issue. What you're seeing right now is me playing tethered to my phone. And it's not super surprising because you can play this game on mobile. But the fact that I was bouncing the signal from my phone to the system, which is a console, which isn't necessarily made or developed with phone hotspot in mind, it's working really well. I don't know, I just thought that was cool. Since the whole point of the Switch is it's half portable, you can take it out the house. As long as you have a phone that can do hotspot, you can still play this game online. Oh, and the fact that I even found this out is because I couldn't stop thinking about Fortnite and I really wanted to play another round. I know so many of you don't get it. I don't know what's not to get about dropping on a map with 100 people and struggling to fight to be the last one standing. I swear, I promise you guys, out of every online game I've ever played, I have never felt as anxious as when it's just me and one more guy. You've played that friggin' match for like 20 minutes. You've gone through 100 opponents. Maybe you've taken down 5 or 6 yourself. You've been hiding in alleyways. You've been hiding behind closed doors. You've been blowing the crap out of people trying to get to that top spot. And there you are. It's just you and one more. And all you have to do to win that match is kill that last person, is to be slightly better than that one last person. My knees are weak. My hands are sweaty. I mean that. My knees literally get weak and my hands literally get sweaty. The only thing that I'm missing is mom's spaghetti. Honestly, it's like I can feel my heart pounding when I get that feeling right there is addicting. You want to get that one, you fight for it, man. It's exhilarating. It's so hard to explain. I know so many of you don't get this. You don't have to. It's fine. I'm addicted. You don't have to be. And speaking of free games, the other game I've been really addicted to is Paladins. Go on. Leave the hate. I'm sure it's a comparison that the Paladin developers are sick of hearing, but I got addicted to Overwatch when it first came out. I played that game a lot, and I really enjoyed it. In my opinion, I also got really good at it. I kept hoping that it would come to Switch, and it didn't. Then I saw Paladins come to Switch, which is essentially Overwatch. It's a different kind of Overwatch. I'm sorry, guys, it really is. And that Overwatch loyalist in me said, I'm not gonna play that. I'm either gonna wait for Overwatch to come out, or I'm just gonna go play Overwatch again. I don't wanna play in what I was thinking could possibly be a knockoff version. So I downloaded it and gave it a shot, and I fell in love with it and got addicted to it. It's really good. It doesn't stray too much further from that Overwatch format. You have two main gameplay types, Siege and Deathmatch. Deathmatch is obvious, you try and reach 400 points by killing peeps. And Siege is like the main mode in Overwatch, where you have to go and defend a point, and then once you've defended that point, it becomes a moving thing, which you then try to defend and get to the opponent's base, and if you can get it there within the time limit, you score points. If they can stop you, they score points. And while I do enjoy that game type as well as Deathmatch, the real fun, no matter what you play in this kind of game, comes from using all of the characters' abilities as best to your abilities and wreaking havoc on the map. There are so many characters to choose from that even though I'm self-confessed addicted, I still haven't played with all of them. I have a really bad habit of picking one or two I really enjoy and playing exclusively as them. I like to get really good at one character rather than pretty good at a bunch of characters. If you haven't played a game quite like this before, the easiest way that I can explain it is take League of Legends or Dota and then take a first-person shooter, let's just say Call of Duty, screw it, and throw them together, taking all the abilities from the MOBA game and then all of the first-person shootery stuff from the first-person shootery games and blending them as one. You pick your character and they all look very, very different and they all have very different personalities. And then you have 4 or 5 abilities and an ultimate that you can use during a match. Also, the character lists are broken down into types. For example, you have defenders who are essentially your tanks. They are these huge brutes that have a lot of defense abilities like putting up giant stone walls or a huge shield that your team can shoot through but it can't be shooted at. That's a horrible way to say that. You have healers, and their primary job is to go around healing people. You have what I like to call the zippy characters, who zip around and they shoot, and then they zip somewhere else, and then they shoot, and they're really annoying, but really fun to play as. And then you have other characters who probably do other things. The point is, it's really fun, and I got addicted. And for those that might be wondering, yes, I actually did try tethering my console to my phone for this game too, and it worked. Actually, even better than Fortnite. I didn't get a single stutter. I got a bunch of kills, we won the match, and I saw 0 lag. I know that whole concept really doesn't mean anything to a lot of you, and a lot of you will never even use that concept. It's just something I thought was cool. for a portable system that you can take outside the house and technically play these games with you wherever you go. I do find that really cool. I've played a fair amount of Mario Tennis and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I can easily see myself becoming addicted to that. But apart from Mario Tennis, I haven't played anything else in like 2 weeks since I got these 2 games. It's bad. I need to put a pin in it and move on because I still haven't played Sushi Strikers and I went out and I got that day 1. And that's been my life for the last 2 weeks. I know, it's sad. You don't have to tell me. I get it. What you can tell me is what you've been addicted to playing lately, and subscribe while you're down there in the comments, and click or tap on that video right there because something amazing will happen when you do. It helps me a lot. A lot. A lot. I'm in a weird mood today. Can you tell?